Welcome to Awakening Streams, the podcast of One River Zen Meditation Center in Ottawa, Illinois. Hosted by Sensei Michael Shikan Brunner. Learn more, donate, and practice with us at oneriverzen.org.
Welcome to day 3 of Ango Sesshin. So, your perspective should be changing, yeah? By now, we've all said over 24 hours of meditation, yeah? And it's amazing how the things that we consider to be so intractable, when we release our grip on the discursive mind, they start to fade a little. We start to recognize that we created some of our own, very own problems. Yeah? And that's not to say that there's no problems here. Might be a little bit of pain. I see a little bit of tiredness, yeah. But I also see a lot of joy and a very deep presence, very deep abiding presence that's here with all of us. And so I'm so honored to be with you on this journey. Case 29 of the Mumokan is called Not the Wind, Not the Flag. It's a pretty commonly cited case, I think because people think it's so easily accessible, and it is. It is, to a certain extent, easily accessible, but there's so much more here than meets the eye, or than a casual observance using the discursive mind would lend to it. The case goes like this. The wind was flapping a temple flag, and 2 monks were having an argument about it. One said, "The flag is moving." The other said, "The wind is moving." They argued back and forth, but still couldn't reach the truth. Along then the 6th ancestor came along and said, "It's not the wind that moves. It's not the flag that moves. It's your mind that moves." And at this, the 2 monks were struck with awe. Interesting use of words, yeah. So this 6th ancestor is Daikon Ino, yeah? An illiterate woodcutter from South China. The story or legend says walks across the whole country after hearing an excerpt from the Diamond Sutra to find more of that awakening elixir. Yeah? And he got there and spent a lot of time pounding rice due to some prevailing winds of discrimination at the time, and eventually was transmitted the Dharma in the dark of night after winning a poetry contest. Yeah? And he was sent away to avoid jealous monks potentially robbing him of his possessions, his prize, and killing him. Fascinating story. It's the opening to the Platform Sutra. And we're actually going to delve into the Platform Sutra here in a 6-week journey starting in January. But this is the parting words of Hongren, or the 5th ancestor, as he was leaving, were to, hey, sit with this for a little while. Give it a good, 10 years or so. And so apparently that time has elapsed. His practice has come to even fuller realization when he comes upon these monks arguing. So in those days, when the abbot was about to give a sermon in some of these small rural countryside Zen temples, a flag was raised at the temple gate. And that's how you knew there was going to be an event, right? Maybe a tight show. They didn't have money for bells. This is a good way of kind of spreading the words. There were no podcasts. Google AdWords wasn't in full swing at this point, right? So 2 monks see this flag fluttering in the wind, and they start a discussion as to whether the wind or the flag was moving. It's apparently compelling entertainment of that day, yeah. And as often the case, when we try to pin things down with reason. Yeah. Soon they were quarreling. One insisting it was the wind, the other that it was the flag. And since there's no Google search to answer the question definitively, this is going to go around in circles. Ino happens to be walking by and recognizes it for the nonsense that it is. He says, "You venerable monks, why are you arguing? It's neither the wind nor the flag, but your mind that moves." So there seems to be a big problem in this koan, whether the wind is blowing or the flag is blowing. But this is a trap. It's a false dichotomy. This is what mind often paints for us, east and west, good and bad. It has to fall into a bucket, it has to work into one of the labels that we have so conveniently assigned for our lived experience. But what is truly much, much greater than any label. It's none other than your true, boundless nature, which is a way of saying it's yourself. It's your own lived experience. Seeing yourself reflected everywhere you look. The wind doesn't have a post-it note on it. It says, "I am moving." And the flag doesn't call out, "I am a flag and I am moving." So Master Ino, working as best as he can within the semantics of the given situation, says the mind is moving. But what is this mind? Even Ino's remark is, so to speak, a way of using words and concepts to point beyond word and concepts. The moment you said it, you've lost it. He didn't reveal what he really meant. If he had, the monks might have actually understood. They might have apprehended it intellectually, and they wouldn't have been left in awe. But awe hits the mark, right? Awe is what opens the door. We have to see beyond this moving wind or moving flag. Neither one is the reality or the fact. They're just labels. They're neat ways that we use to parcel something up so we can move beyond it. This life and our lived experience is not something to be moved beyond. Not something we can label and then drop off. Once you've labeled it, it's hard for you to actually see it. Because all of our labels are loaded. Each of these concepts requires other concepts to truly bring them into fruition. And so you see you're off to the races the moment you use one label. All of the labels bear down upon that label, and there's all these competing thoughts and ideologies that come to the fore. So Master Ino says the mind is moving. This compromise with the two monks, is in and of itself an enigma. Living in a state of wonder is the key. I want you to see that nothing can be self-referentially held. If you say the wind is moving, then there's just wind. To say that there's anything other than wind requires another concept to come up. If you say the flag is moving, then it's just the flag. There's no wind or mind outside of the flag. And if you say the mind is moving, the mind is it. Nothing exists outside of it. The truth excludes nothing. The truth excludes nothing. All three are shot through, and everything else. What is that? Where does that point? You're going to have to find it by looking very deeply. Start within yourself. Start by looking at the labeler. The mischievous little gnome who walks around and tries to put labels on everything. And once you see him for what he is and he drops away, You can begin to appreciate that it's deeper still. Deeper than all your ideas, all your apprehensions, all your fears. So you can open up to it, then you just see it for what it is. The whole universe is present. We could say the universe is one, right? But the one is extra. The universe and I are one. Yeah, but since in delusion we actually acknowledge subject and object, dualistic concepts and thoughts arise from there. But there's no object outside of a subject. There's no subject outside of the object. So essentially, what is. It's just this. Nothing other than this. We make it two, there's no two at all. You say, well, what a letdown. Really? Have you taken a good look around today? Right now? Where you sit? Yeah. The vast and limitless potential? Yeah. To wake up is to recognize we see nothing but ourselves. Yeah? We can call it Mu. Yeah? We can call it our own true self. We can call it the divine. But those are just labels too. When you truly appreciate this world of oneness, this present koan isn't a problem. It just is. Now, right, I've given you some explanations. So you may begin to come to form some concept or idea of oneness. You may try to tidy this thing up, put it in a knot, move beyond it. Yeah? But you can never be satisfied that way by a mere concept. Understanding is a very, very weak way of being present and living. When you're truly one, and there is no other, the other drops away, then you transcend this idea of oneness itself. And you're in the true place of your lived experience. Yeah? Just this, right here, right now. You can experience the intimacy of things. Actually be present. That's a state of awe. A state of wonder. We sometimes call it not knowing. Yeah? But living in a state of wonder, maybe in some ways hits the mark even a little more closely. Don't trade this in for common knowledge. Yeah? Set all of it free. Allow it to be free. All of the answers that you seek, everything you need is right here, well before you figured it out. All of the ingredients that you need to cook your life in a way that is nourishing and satisfying, that heals the suffering you encounter as a result of seeing other and labeling it, yeah, is right here. This is it. Yeah. And you're the one. Just recognize this master, yeah, and then make your life happen. Be present and intimate with your life. This is the only one you have. Yeah, this is it. Stay present and truly appreciate it. Even these tired mornings on the cushion. Yeah? There's nothing we need to move past. We won't be okay when. Yeah? Perfectly okay now. Right here and now. There's so much here. So just let go and surrender your thoughts, your ideas, your hopes and dreams. All of it. Just let it all go and savor it.
Thank you for joining us. If this podcast was meaningful to you and supported your practice, please give us a hand by joining us at oneriverzen.org.